and welcome back to our Ellipse Unsealed podcast. Today with us, we have our special guest, Jordan Martinez of Experlogix. Hi, Jordan.
Hi, Savannah. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Jordan. How are you, man?
Doing well. It's good to see everybody.
Yeah, I just saw you here in Denver just last week.
No kidding. I know. Time flies.
It sure does. Bobby and I were just talking about, we can't believe it's almost June. Christmas seemed like yesterday.
It really does. The whole year has flown by. I mean, we're almost done Q2 now. So it's been a blur for the most part. So excited to be here and join you guys. I know we have a ton of stuff coming up to close out the first half of the year and then really kind of, buckle down for the second half. So it's been a great year so far.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, Jordan, do you kind of want to kick us off with telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, so I'm the sales director for North America for Experlogix. I mainly cover our digital commerce portfolio. So we acquired a company based out of UK and Ireland a year ago, launched it in North America this year. So they brought me on to really launch the product in the Microsoft channel. So it's been a great year. It's been, like you mentioned, it's been crazy quick. Everything's been happening at 1,000 miles an hour. We just saw each other in Denver. Feel like the last, I'd say all of April and most of May has been nothing but travel, and it's been all good stuff. And now we have our user conference coming up in 2 weeks called Elevate. It's going to be in Park City, and right now we're in prep mode for it. So it's been a great year. Been great for digital commerce. Really trying to grow the brand, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, man. Tell us a little bit about Experlogix for folks that maybe don't know what the company does. You mentioned an acquisition, but what's the product? And just a quick overview of how you support the Dynamics 365 ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. Experlogix has been around for close to 25 years at this point. Their core product that they got started with was our CPQ, so our product configurator. It's been around for a while. It's in my opinion, an industry standard in terms of its agility, its functionality, the ability for us to customize it for our customers. And then over the last 5 or so years, our company's really grown through acquisition and really built out our portfolio. So roughly 5 or so years ago, we bought a document automation company, so a doc company called Experlogix, which was sheerly a coincidence. We did not name them that.
Look for companies that start with EX.
Yeah, it was really kind of meant to be, it felt like. So we purchased them, a great addition, integrated it to our CPQ. And then the next part of that journey for the company was really to look at digital commerce and how can we really extend into that field. And instead of us creating a product and bringing something new, we wanted to find, companies and that had an established product, really kind of fit the brand and what we were looking to do, tailored to the industries. And then also just kind of fit the integrity of what Experlogix stands for. Again, been in the channel for 20 plus years, been in the industry for 20 plus years. We have a really solid name, and we wanted to bring in a company. So we brought a company called Affix, based out of UK and Ireland. They have a really large footprint in Europe and beyond. So we acquired them April 2023. So the last year has really been just sort of integrating them with Experlogix, building some of that that company and product out. And then this year we launched it in North America, and they brought me on board to do it. So now our portfolio has the product configurator, we have our document automation, and now we have our digital commerce, which is ultimately a B2B solution built for manufacturing, distribution, has the capabilities to do some of that B2C and D2C work, and even play in that retail space. But that's really our focus. And we're integrated to BC and building out our integration F&O as we speak, as well as building out our internal integration to our CPQ, so that we can kind of combine the entire portfolio and have customers saying, okay, if you need a product configurator, we can manage that, but we can also manage that digital commerce side that allows your configurator to be optimized and really get the most use out of it. So again, exciting stuff, and still a growing company. So yeah.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. That's a lot of kind of forward thinking. Are you still in growth mode, or are you kind of stopping here?
I think right now, from like
the products, we're going to focus those out.
I'll be honest. There could be some potential opportunities for us in the future, but right now, I think we're really focused on the 3 things that we do. right? So really focused on our CPQ and making it better, really focused on DocAuth, and then really focused on digital commerce and trying to, again, like I mentioned, we're working right now on 3 current integrations, and then our roadmap really extends out for 2+ years. It's a product that we're always looking to improve. But right now, I think that's really our focus from a product standpoint. We're always probably looking for people, just because we're always looking for good people to add to our team. All of our support, everything that we do in that aspect is all in-house. So we do not third party that out really. So it's something, and we're global again. So North America, Europe, UK, Australia. So we have offices all over the globe. So yeah, so it's been interesting, but again, we're focused right now on what we're trying to do and really drive home the value of these 3 products.
Awesome. Does that mean you get to travel to all those international locations soon?
No,
hook it up in Australia.
Unfortunately, no, man. I'd love to. Trust me, I'm trying. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
But no, right now we have people that cover those areas, so we do get to collaborate. As a matter of fact, when we do our show coming up, Elevate in Park City, a lot of those folks are coming to us.
Oh,
so
cool.
So yeah, so we'll be able to kind of get FaceTime with them and really talk through some of their strategies. But you know, thankfully, I would say kind of accelerated due to COVID. We have all this fun, wonderful technology that pretty much connects us all. The biggest hurdle we have, as I mentioned before we jumped on, is time zones. It's always always the challenge, is trying to get everyone on whether we're on the same day or just, you know, trying to avoid people's dinner time. So it's but yeah, no, it's a great problem to have, being a global company like this.
Yeah, man. And so you're going to a lot of events. You said, you know, so what did you think of DynCon Live? We just got done with that in Denver. What was your feeling?
I thought it was a great, I mean, it's one of those where, you know, Directions is a very partner-centric event, right? Like that's what you're going for. You're going to meet with the partners. DynamicsCon really kind of has that same feel to it, but it has that user part to it as well. So you get to really have customer interaction. You get to have the partner interaction. I'm honestly, I went to it in San Antonio 2 years ago as my first go around with it. We had like 300 people. They had like 1,500. I mean, just to watch it grow over 2 years has been pretty incredible. And I thought for us, we had a lot of good leads out of it. We got a lot of good contacts, a lot of good networking. I think it's a great show. It's like kind of like almost like that little brother to Summit, where you get the opportunity to actually get in front of all the people that you hopefully can get in front of, right? Because it's a little more intimate, allows you to get more FaceTime. So for us, it was a great success. We loved being a part of it. What about you guys?
Yeah, really energetic. I agree. We agree with everything you said there. Really, really energetic. And for Savannah, I don't think you've made it to a DynCon yet. You've been to Summit, but not a DynCon.
Right. Yeah, I've been to Summit, not DynCon, but I mean, I've heard nothing but good things about it so far. And yeah, I think the number one thing is just the growth, like you mentioned, Jordan, has been incredible. So maybe one of these days in the future, I'll be able to make it. And by then it might be as big as, I don't know, like a lot bigger than it used to be, which kind of stinks that I couldn't see it at the beginning stages. But I'm excited to see how it goes in the future.
I feel like the way it's being directed, I think it'll keep the same energy. I mean, I think, you know, it will be interesting to see how it grows, but I think just with the folks that are running it, I think their goal is to keep that same feeling somehow throughout. So it'll be interesting to see as it continues to grow and gain momentum, how they kind of keep it wrapped around that piece of it.
I think they've done a great job of growing it. I mean, because it's really, I mean, I have a different perspective, so I might be wrong, but it feels like a very organic growth that they've had, you know, really kind of building up through the regional and local DUG meetings and really marketing to the users, right? And trying to make sure that it's an event that's really geared toward helping people understand the Dynamics channel better, understand the functionality of the products better, and really just drive, you know, home that engagement. And I think they've done a great job. I mean, you could just, the attendance alone is a good result that you could see from going from like 300 to 1,500 in, I don't know, maybe like under 2 years, under 24 months is pretty solid, right? So it was a great event. I think the person who I went with, I think that might have been their first one, and even she was pretty surprised at just the attendance and just the level of engagement, because we had a lot of traffic come to our booth, and we had a lot of folks having really good conversations, not just, you know, hey, can I get one of those, you know, marketing things that you guys have on the table? It was a very, engaging, like, we do this, this, and this, and tell me more about your products. And it was good stuff.
Cool, man. Well, it's good to hear. Like I said, it's good feedback. It's the kind of feedback I was hearing all week long. So
yeah,
good to hear that echoed for sure.
Yeah. And you said you've been to Directions as well?
Yes. So we do our best to attend and sponsor all of the Microsoft events that we can. As a matter of fact, I think we're gonna do our best to be a part of the next Denver Doug, Bobby, in your neck of the woods. But yeah, so we were at Directions as well, another insanely good event. I mean, I think they were 1,000, 1,200 people or something like that. All partners, but still, it's hard for us to get in front of partners like, Ellipse, right? There's a lot of ISVs that are vying for attention, a lot of ISVs that are always looking to find ways to get in with some of the larger VARs. And for us to be able to attend an event like that and sponsor it and be a part of it, have a session, and really try to educate on what you do, that's what that event's all about. And for us, it was another one. It was a big success. We were able to connect with folks, and I think with our world being as remote as it is, kind of the days of us being able to go to like our office and see everyone in office and travel to like those customer offices and partner offices, those are gone. Everyone's kind of working out of their home base. So these events bringing everyone together, allowing that face time is critical for us, it is, at least. And we get a lot out of it.
Yeah. You mentioned that you're having partners and ISVs. That's another, it's not just users, Directions obviously is very specific to partner ISV relationships, but even going to a summit or DineCon Live or any of these events, if you're in a role like myself, or you're trying to make those ISV partner relationships or any of those kind of cross connections where you've got reason to work together, learn more about each other. Maybe just talk briefly about how you approach your partner relationship, conversations, or how Experlogix goes about building those out.
It's always the call that I was just on was really built on that. It was based around like, how do we engage partners? And for the last few years, not only being in the e-commerce and Microsoft space, it's been really built around that partner channel and how do you build it and grow it and really sell through it. And from my standpoint, it's it kind of starts with really that base question of like, what kind of partner are you, right? Like when I'm speaking to VARs, like I want to understand, like, how do you manage your ISVs? Like, what's the approach to it? Is it a centralized approach or a decentralized approach? And what I mean by that is, does each partner, or like Ellipse, for instance, do you guys have a list of partners that are approved, a list of partners you try to drive, ones that you trust? So it makes it a little easier for your consultants or solutions architects to really kind of make the decisions that they need to make. So it's one of those where once you kind of establish that, then you can kind of build that approach out. Is it going to be working with certain individuals or really working at a centralized leadership level to drive home what you do? And then again, it's all education, right? Because you want to be top of mind. You want to be thought of in a strategic sense when it comes to, hey, like this, sales consultant might have an opportunity that needs digital commerce. Well, there's a list, you can Google them, you can do whatever you want, but ultimately I'd like for them to be like, oh, well, I know Jordan and Experlogix has a great product. Like, let's give them a call and get them involved. And really we take, once we understand like how they approach their partners in the ISV network, we at that point then start to engage them. And we have a strong marketing team. We have a strong partner team as well. So we want to do events like this where we can kind of support and co-brand and go out and really kind of talk through everything. We're also on the app store. So we want to make sure that they understand, because I think from a VAR perspective and a user perspective, it's probably difficult for them with ISVs seemingly popping up all the time. Like, who is ISV that could really support them, and who do you trust? And so being able to do things like be on the app store, promote it to the partners, and really have them understand what you do and how you do it is huge. And we take that very seriously in the way that we approach our partners. So we want them to know, like, when you engage us with one of your customers, ultimately that's your client, right? Like, we want to make sure that we're kind of going in as like an extended arm of Ellipse, basically, not necessarily as a third party. And every partner's a little different in that approach. So we want to be respectful of it. And, all of our conversations kind of start off with who you are, how do you go to market, and how can we support you? And then educating them on what do we do well? What don't we do well? Because we don't want to waste anyone's time. We want to have a very seamless engagement with their clients and help them grow value. So it's always, it's a challenge, but we take it very seriously. And, as an organization, we've made some internal changes to make sure that we're engaging our strategic partners in a much more direct way with our sales team versus having, kind of that separation of church and state to where we might have 3 to 4 people getting involved. So we try to do our best to make sure that there's a very sales mentality that goes into it so that we are being respectful of the team and who they and how they approach their clients.
Yeah, no, it dovetails really well into, I mean, I'm new to this role just about, now we talked about how fast time went by. It's been more like 9 months, but still just, just getting into it probably in the first half of this year, and trying to figure out what this means for Ellipse, because there was no, like you said, a centralized piece to it here. It was all kind of just, spread about consultants or salespeople or, execs, whomever, just who, there's no real, repository of how we went about looking at ISV relationships. I mean, a lot of what you said resonated. People we trust, all that stuff was still there, but not really organized. And that's been my goal, is to be more of that centralized hub for Ellipse, saying, hey, I want to meet all the ISVs and talk to them and learn what they do, decide where they fit in the picture, and build that, like you said, that roster of folks that are sales consultants, are technical and PMs and business analysts, that all, when they're in those conversations with the customers, they can learn what's going on, and they can quickly decide, oh, this is going to be a perfect solution. We need to reach out to Experlogix because they're going to fit really well with what we're looking for in this particular case. And having that at top of mind, having that top of mind for those folks seemed to be an important step. So that's my end goal by the end of the year, is to have that really buttoned up in a just like an internal repository. So not only is it somewhere they can go, but also providing regular information too. Like I'm learning, with each, like you said, with each ISV, it's different. Some folks want to have a regular cadence. Other folks, it's regular emails, or maybe it's just as needed. Just kind of figure what that is. But the more information I get, like if Experlogix has got some, hey, we just improved our CPQ. I should know that so I can pass it on and get it in our queue, so people know, hey, there's some new updates, some new functionality that we need to know about. And providing that in a way that our folks are consuming it. And like you said, there's partners that are, Ellipse size. There's partners that are, much larger, and each of them have their own way of working and getting into that system. And so a lot goes on there.
It's a huge challenge because every partner is different, right? And it's everyone has a different approach. So from our standpoint, it's also kind of to do what you're doing, right? Like we're also trying to build out our marketing team strategy to sort of be kind of like an all-in-one, so that we can get that information to the folks that need to get it and hear it, and then allow our sales directors to really engage the leadership at some of these, larger partners, and get in front of them and just, be a part of their team to some degree, because, you guys are really at the forefront of working with the users and working and going through these like large transitions and these ERP and CRM projects that are really at the heart of their business. And there is a million different variables that go into that, right? And ISVs are definitely going to be a part of it. And in my opinion, I'm probably obviously biased here, but I think that ISV network is really what kind of makes that Microsoft channel special, right? Like, otherwise we'd all be employed by Microsoft, building all this stuff for Microsoft to sell and brand. So it's really important to know who's the right. And I think Bobby, you and Rick did one of the Dougs. You guys did, I thought, a great presentation on how to pick an ISV, right? Because I think there are a lot of users that don't know. I always used to have this joke, like, you don't know. You get an email and you can go to a website and everything can look great, but it could just be like two guys in their boxer shorts sitting in their garage, right? Like just like it's real easy to kind of do that. So really understanding who are the ISVs to go to and which ones have, a track record of success, solid platform, the way to support, great pricing and all of that. It's a tough bill of sales. So you have to really be in front of the teams and really be marketing yourself properly, and attending these events, being on the app store is a big one. You guys did a great job of really outlining it. In my opinion, I thought that was a great bit of information for users to see.
Yeah, thank you. We've given that a couple of times, and a lot of it came from my end user experience. Of even going through. Sometimes it's not the two guys in their boxer shorts in the garage. Sometimes it's the bigger companies, but you just need to really be intentional about how you approach working with them. To get the best out of it. So
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's always a challenge. It's a challenge on all sides of it. And you also know, I mean, end users really do a lot of shopping prior to coming. Like sometimes there's the, hey, we recommend these folks, but a lot of times they come and they're like, hey, we saw these two or three when we were just on Google looking around.
Yep.
Like, can you help us, whatever, make a decision. So there's also the balance of, trying to arm you guys with the knowledge that you need, but also letting the customer know, like, we can help you make this decision. Getting in that early shopping process is tough. So that also kind of lends itself to what kind of consultant are you? Are you sort of like a soup nuts? Like, hey guys, like, we want to be your go-to for all things tech, or are you just a implementer, right? Like you're just implementing something that they've already decided they wanted. And that's also another, delicate balance that you got to understand and make sure you're getting in front of the right people.
You bet.
Yeah. Kind of switching gears here. Elevate your Experlogix event has kind of been sprinkled into the conversation here a few times. Do you kind of want to go deeper into what that exactly is and what it looks like?
Love to. Yeah. So thank you. We have our user conference. This is the first time we're doing it over the past, I want to say 5 years. We used to have it every year. And then I think with COVID, we put a pause on everything. So we're bringing it back. It's going to be in Park City. Right now, I think our count is roughly, we have 80 or so of our customers, 80 to 100 of our customers attending, something like that. And that could be changing as we speak. We have some great sponsors.
Ding, ding, yeah.
Exactly. Right. It's, as we get closer and our CPQ is really kind of our established product, and we're really trying to bring in some of our document automation customers as well. But it's CPQ is a very robust product that we have, and it's really kind of customized for all different types of customers. So we have a lot of our users and leaders from those organizations coming so that they can optimize that product for their company and see what are ways to use it more effectively and efficiently, what are ways to they're not using it effectively that maybe could help benefit their business, but also what are some of the other parts of our business like digital commerce that could either integrate to it or help their business grow and become more robust. So we're very excited. We have some great sponsors that are going to be a part of it, and that are going to be attending. And exactly, so Ellipse, one of them. We're very excited about having you guys be a part. And it's going to be a great, really a great week of learning, meeting, networking, and just hopefully, getting better acquainted with our customer base. So we're excited about it.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, there's like a couple days of like pre-conference, and then that's starting on Sunday, and then Monday, and then Tuesday it really kicks off, right?
Yeah. So it's a Tuesday kickoff. To your point, I think there's like a Monday and maybe even a little bit earlier. Some people are coming in. Like I mentioned, we have some folks out of Europe that are going to be, and really kind of globally that are going to be attending. So those folks are going to come in earlier and do some stuff. And then Tuesday's the kickoff. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Awesome.
Excuse me. Are the 3 main days. So yeah, so it'll be a really fun week. Park City's beautiful. I mean, the weather looks amazing. I'm out of New Orleans, and it's already like an inferno down here. So it's going to be a very welcome change to get somewhere where it's going to be highs in the 70s versus 100 plus.
Yes. For those attending, do you have any like little tips for them, what to expect or what to bring, even anything small?
I just bring some enthusiasm, right? And just some readiness. I know some of these events, I've been, it kind of reminds me of like the first time I went to Dynamics Con, very small event, right? And you have a lot of users that are there, and they're there trying to learn. Like I would go attend some of the sessions, and I'd see some of the same people in multiple sessions and just going, and that's really what it's about, right? Like this event is really to come in and help understand how this product can help your organization grow, build revenue. And that's exactly what we're trying to do here. So come with enthusiasm, come with questions.
Yeah.
With an agenda. I always say every time you go to an event, always have a purpose, right? You're not just kind of going and showing up and just being like, oh, I'm here now, like, let's do it. I always say, like, come with some level of like, I want to learn how to do XYZ. It could be very broad. It could be very specific, but have a few items that you're trying to accomplish and come in and, set the agenda right for yourself to do that. So there's always going to be trying to learn your product. There's always going to be trying to learn maybe a strategy around using it. There's always going to be, hey, what else can Experlogix do for us? All of that understand what your goals are and come in and build a plan around them. That's always the best approach.
You've got this opportunity. The schedule's published, so you can see what educational sessions are out there. So you can start to form your questions. You're going to have access to all these experts from Experlogix at this event, in various stages of, education, networking, after hours, advanced networking, all these points. You've got all this opportunity to get a lot of questions and a lot of stuff done. So that's a great piece of advice, and I agree with it. It's one of my favorites. You don't just show up and start, hitting, start now. You've got 2 weeks about to get yourself planned out and get your questions ready and queued so you can tick them off. Somebody else might have them, great. Then that you can tick them off. But if they don't answer them or ask them, you can ask them out there and definitely take advantage of this opportunity. And
absolutely, don't ever be afraid to ask questions too. Always tell people, because there's no question that's too small. Like you made an investment to come, time and money. Like, ask the question. It doesn't matter. Like, we want to hear it, because part of what we do from a product standpoint is we get a lot of feedback at these events and, from our customers on what are ways that we can make products better and improve and all that. So I always tell people, come not just prepared with an agenda, but come prepared to ask and just participate, really, because everything that they do helps us make our products better.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, like we mentioned, we're one of the sponsors. I won't be there, but Bobby will be attending in his loop tour of the United States. I think that's his last stop. So
I'm getting an Ellipse jet. I think I've just requisitioned, just a small, little G5, something to get me around the country.
That's nice, man. We'll have to check that out.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. We can co-brand that.
I like it.
Yeah, it sounds like a great event.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah, I was just about to see if you had anything else to say about it.
No, this would be obviously my first time going to this event, and but if it's like any others, it's gonna be a great. I mean, I love being around community, so I will be prepared and ready to lend my expertise, in the marketplace and meet all the folks that are there, and again, just integrate with the community is just always fun. I enjoy doing it and looking forward to again. Also, I've never been to Park City. So it'll be a fun new adventure, and like I said, the weather's looking great. So all good.
Yeah, we're excited. We're excited to have you guys, and thank you for participating. Like like all of these events, you guys know, like the sponsors really are kind of the main engine to help put that together and help put it on. So we're excited about having you guys be a part of it and really just hosting everybody. It's like I said, our first one in years, and we're excited to bring it back and hopefully make it a mainstay, and we're going to continue chugging along with it.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
Cool. Sounds like it'll be fun.
Yes.
Well, I think that's kind of all the topics we wanted to chat with you about. Sometimes we end out these podcasts with just some fast questions, or they're just silly questions.
Okay. Always fun to silly.
So yeah, I can start off with those if we're all good with that.
We're ready.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Cool. Okay, so the first one, with it kind of being like the kickoff of summer, we've talked about some vacations that you guys are having in Florida. What is the main SPF that you use or you go for?
Oh, that's a good one. So it really depends. I like to be a little strategic about it, right? So I normally like start off with a 50, just because I want to get a good base in there, and I don't want to have to constantly sunscreen up if it's going to be a really long day.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's just like a 30 or a spray or something. But ultimately, I like to start it with a 30 or 50. I don't generally go higher than that, because I feel like that's just, I might as well just wear clothes at that point. But around like a 50 or 30.
Yeah. If you'd asked me this like back in like 1988, it would have been baby oil.
Yeah.
Because that's what you rolled with on the beach in 1988. You wanted to get as brown as quick as possible.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a bike event, so I'm going to use that as a perfect example. So I lather up in the thickest 50, because you typically on these bike events, it's hot, you're riding in June, and it's sometimes 100 degrees out, full sun, and you're on these stretches of like 20, 30 miles at a time, just straight sun. So I'm lathering up at every station with 50 plus. Yeah.
Smart. Yeah. I like the strategy behind yours, Jordan. You know, start in the morning with the 50, then get lower.
And I also do it because Bobby, you just said like it's hot. Like it's hot outside, right? Going to the beach, like so. I also like to do it inside before I get outside to do it because that's when it becomes a problem with trying to like make sure you can put it on without like sweating it all off.
Melting. Yes, literally melting off your body. You're trying to put it on,
exactly.
just dripping down. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, totally.
Let it set before you get out there. Yeah, that's what I try to do sometimes. I normally just do the 30. I should probably do 50 sometimes, but I'm a bit stubborn with it, which is how I end up burnt sometimes. But
yeah,
well, that all that's trial and error. Like I got to 50 from doing exactly what you would do and learning my lesson over the years that after, you know, a couple of hours and maybe even a few drinks that the relathering it up is not top of mind. So I'd rather try to start with something bigger and then as needed start, you know, kind of spraying it back on. But teach their own. You mentioned we had our niece over. We had actually our nieces and nephews stay over for the weekend with us for Memorial Day, and she's in high school, and that's all she had was like tanning oil. Like there's no sunscreen. I was like, man, good luck.
Youth.
Learn.
Exactly.
Oh gosh. Well, kind of in the same vein, what is your like favorite summer song? Like the song that just gets you in the mood to sit out in the sun, have a barbecue, things like that.
Oh man, you know, I think that what I always affiliate with like summer stuff is always going to be something like a Jimmy Buffett or even like a Bob Marley, like a reggae or something, you know, like something that's always going to be kind of that beach related like music that always makes me just want to go outside and do things. Right. That's kind of the go-to.
Yeah. Jimmy Buffett's classic summer. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, totally.
I grew up with an album called 5150. It was the Van Halen album. And there's a song on it called Summer Nights. And it was just, we spent most of our summers at Ocean City, which was a beach close to me where I grew up in Maryland. And just cruising that and listening to that album and Summer Nights was probably one that just immediately will evoke beach memories and summer memories. But Jimmy Buffett is a clear winner too. I mean, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, it's just, you know, I guess there's always sort of like those, I always tell people like the music that you appreciate is always that a music that you were like a teenager with and in college with, right? Like that's that's what you really centralize in your mind is like, that was the best times, right? Growing up. And for me, like, I always just think Jimmy Buffett, because he's never really singing about, there's never a rainstorm involved in any of that. It's always outside, sun, boats, beach, all that. Right?
Margaritas and cheeseburgers and all kinds of good stuff happening there.
Exactly. So
So which Taylor Swift song is yours, Savannah? I'm just kidding.
That actually wasn't on my radar for the summertime.
All right.
I'm sure there is one though, just not top of mind. But yeah, I was gonna say something Jimmy Buffett or Kenny Chesney, or there's this new trendy kind of song that came out recently. It's called A Bar Song by Shabuzi. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
I'm sure I've heard it.
Yeah, if not, look it up. It's just very like upbeat and kind of summerish. So
you have to pull a little clip if we can get the copyright and just add it to the bumper of the podcast.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Definitely.
Shabuzi. Okay, that's
I'm looking that up just to make sure I know it.
Yeah.
And then my last question is, who is the most famous person you've ever met? If you've met a famous person.
Oh, it's a good question.
Yeah.
Mine, I've met, I don't know if you guys have watched One Tree Hill, but I've met Chris Keller off of that series. I forget his real life name at the moment, but
that's his character name. Nice. I know the show, but I don't know that character.
Yeah. And then I also ran into someone from The Bachelor at a bar at Ohio State one time. So that was fun.
Nice. You know, I met a few athletes just because I went to LSU and just from being around. Like I met Drew Brees once, but I'd say in like global popularity, oddly enough, and it was at a sporting event. I met Lil Wayne. That's probably number one. I would say most famous person I've ever met in person. So yeah, Lil Wayne. I'll
I
go
have
with
to
Lil Wayne.
say,
Awesome.
a lot of celebrities. I just going out like in the 80s in the bar scene in Washington. There were always Washington's, and right before games too. I would walk up. I was like, "What are you doing here, dude? Go home and get some sleep. You got a big game tomorrow." But I would chat. Well, if you saw somebody, I was not a celebrity hunter. Like if I saw somebody, I
Right.
wouldn't necessarily go up. But if I was right next to them, I also a chatter, so I would chat with them. So I met a lot of celebrities that way. But probably the funniest one, there's a guy named Diedrich Bader, who is an
Yeah.
actor. He was in the Drew Carey Show, among other
Yep.
things. But we were in line together to see Lord of the Rings, of all things, in Arlington, Virginia, one Christmas. And he walked by me, and I was like, I recognize that guy. And he got in line behind me, and we just started chatting. Chatted the whole time we were in line, and never really, I didn't ever talk to him about his, vocation. We just chatted about the movie and Christmas or whatever. But it was him.
Cool.
I'm like you. I'm not a celebrity hunter, and like the time that I met Lil Wayne, oddly enough, was at a bar at like the stadium for at the time it was a Hornets game. So and New Orleans has a pretty popular, especially the last I'd say 10 years or so, has a pretty popular like movie. Like you have a lot of movies that are made, and and so I think one of the people I wouldn't say met, but we were getting drinks and I didn't bother him, was Dave Franco. He was in town filming. I think they were doing 21 Jump Street or 22 Jump Street, one of the two. And we were able to meet him too. But yeah, it's to your point, like I'm not like chasing him down or trying to get selfies, especially at I was more of like at the bar, like, oh my God, like you're Lil Wayne. It's good to meet you, man.
Yeah.
It's funny how those things happen.
I hear you. Yep. No, I was trying. There was one other time where I was at Nashville airport, and I was sitting across from Emmylou Harris, and she was in a conversation, and I didn't feel like interrupting her. It's like my brother was like, "Why didn't you get in her autograph?" I was like, she's doing her thing. I don't know. It just, whatever. I saw her. She was there. I know who she is.
Yeah, you don't want to be that person. That's just like annoying.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's awesome when people do that. I know a lot of people that would go up and they have probably great interactions, but unless it happens naturally and organically, I just feel like
exactly.
Yeah,
totally agree.
Cool. Well, those are awesome, and those are all the questions I have. So
this was
thanks
fun.
for playing along.
No, Jordan, thanks a lot, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah, same here, guys. Safe travels, Bobby. It was great meeting you, Savannah. Just looking forward to seeing you in Utah, and I'm sure we'll be in touch. But thanks for having me, guys, and appreciate the time.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us.
Talk to you.